So, I love having a Lego room. And you're here because you probably want to have a Lego room. If you're like me, you probably have kids, and kids in Lego rooms don't seem to mix. When you see all the YouTubers throughout the web, they have these pristine, beautiful cities. And I have this. Just look at all of this. Lego bricks on the floor, cars stacking up in the roads, buildings, builds, and what looks like a friend's kids paradise. So what was I thinking? Trying to commit a room of my house to Lego when I have small children. Let me share with you a few of the rules that we have for our Lego room. Rule number 1, there's no crying in the Lego room. You think this may sound kind of fundamental, but when you have small kids, you know what I'm talking about. They can't cry or scream because this is a small space and the noise echoes, and man, it just takes all the fun out of Lego. Rule 2 is just as important to make sure you have in your Lego city. You cannot break someone else's build, no matter how much you really need that piece to finish a piece of your staircase in the building. Rule number 3 is just as important as 1 and 2. And that is that wherever you're building, when you're done, you have to pick up that build and get it out of the way. This rule is the rule that the kids struggle with the most. So once you get the rules out of the way, there's some other things you probably want to consider. One of them is getting some sort of minifigure case for your minifigs that are just too valuable to allow the kids to play with. For me, probably the most valuable, or at least the most desirable Lego minifigure I have, is Smooth Hair Leia. But another thing you really have to consider is where are you going to put your builds? So with your builds, altitude is going to be your best friend. If you notice, I have a lot of builds up on shelves way at the top of the room. By doing the builds up high, I can still reach them and bring them down to do videos or to stage. But the kids are not able to get up there, which is always a plus, especially when you're looking at some of your larger, more expensive builds. Of course, doing this with the city is basically impossible. So we have a love-hate relationship with building in the city. The kids know that they can build things that they can go into the city. Like over here, I have an auto shop that Gavin built. Here's the cafe that Abby built all by herself from the Friends set that is about to find a spot within the city. It's really important for the kids that you show off some of their builds as part of the city. Don't hide them all on the shelves underneath. Not to say that I don't hide some of them, like one of Gavin's forts. After all, this really is our Lego room and not just mine. And I think that's why it works so well for us. The next thing to consider when building a Lego room is making sure that you have a lock so that you can keep the kids out when they don't need to be in there. You wouldn't think it's that important, but boy, locking the door when you're not home or when the kids are not behaving, it's a lifesaver. Getting a Lego room all set up is quite the process. You're going to want to check out this video to see how you can set up your city.